Uh, and five, four, three, two, one, and we're back. So I'm back again, and then today I decided that I would just talk about my favorite few things that's been going on. So one thing I have definitely been enjoying is Chrissy's Court. So if you don't know that, so it's on this app called Quibi. Quibi. So it's like a new streaming app that came out April 6th, which was like Monday. So basically what it is that it gives you episodes of shows and bite size. It's like a bite size streaming content. So it's like 6 minutes. So like I guess you could say it's like a combination of Vime, Instagram TV, and Netflix. So it's like I guess high production shows that are short format, like short time, like they're 6, 7 minutes. So like it'd be kind of like streaming shows if it'd be like Netflix if all the shows were like shortened, like 6 minutes episodes. So like sometimes you watch a whole entire movie or show and there's still like 10, 15 minutes before the 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, so the next slotted spot. So there's this random show or like filler. It's kind of like that. But so far I've only been watching one show, and that's been Chrissy's Court. And Chrissy Teigen, as a lot of people may know, is John Legend's wife. And I've been following on Twitter for a long time because she was just funny. And then she was kind of, too much. And then I saw like last summer how she's like, what's the pettiest thing you'll ever take someone to court for? And I was like, wow. And I just read the replies, and the replies were funny. And then I heard that they were going to do a show. So I signed up for like the early trial. So I've been getting a couple extra episodes, and trust me, this show is funny. I'm gonna like talk about my favorite episodes, and I'm just gonna review every episode so far. It's like the first episode is C rap music, which is like basically some like old guy, and he like broke a speaker because like some guy came to order takeout, and he asked him if he can play rap, but the man's singing like Sinatra music, and then he's like, yeah, rap. And at one point the guy's like, yeah, I can play rap. It's C, it's crap without the C. And I like the ending because technically, I don't know, it wasn't really his fault, but then the speaker was $999, but then they decided that they would play it. And then second, it was situation status, which is basically a man who said he'd get his girlfriend a car, but because of the car, she didn't pay for it. But then she's like, she doesn't deserve to because she's driving her around and everything. And he doesn't call it a relationship, situationship. In the end, yeah, not my favorite episode. Or 100% that case. That one really funny too. I liked it. It's like these two gay guys, and they got like a shirt for. So there's an Asian guy and a white guy, and so the white guy's cousin. And then the Asian guy was like, "Oh, he's suing his boyfriend for $70," and apparently the shirt he got just said "that bitch," and then um, the cousin got the shirt that was like, "I'm 100% that bitch." They even like video call the cousin, and then she's like, "Oh, I love the shirt," but then she's like, "Where have you worn it?" And she's like, "Only inside the house." And she's like showing people, but she's never actually wore it. And then after she gives it to the cousin, since the other, like the guy was like, "Oh," like she's like, she liked the shirt because it more emphasized how big of a Lizzo fan she was. And then once it's a journey, they go outside. They're like, "Clap if you would want that bitch," which was like the first shirt. And then everyone clapped. And then for the second one, which like was 100% that bitch, they're basically no one clapped. So then she's like, "Oh, awkward." So I guess I think his name was Derek. Derek had a point that she didn't like the shirt because if she liked the shirt, she would have wore it. But and then my favorite episode so far is number 4. That's a Wrap, which is basically like these two old guys were in a Sizzler, and then the old guy the plaintiff was just gotten some money, so he gave his friend $1,000, and then he was like, and then John Legend, because they do celebrity appearances, John Legend comes in and he's like, "Oh, you're older, so not that to be ageist, but like, why are you still in the rap game if you haven't made it yet?" Because he said he'd give him back the $1,000 once he made it. But the thing is, the guy's like, "Well, first I worked for Walt Disney, then I went to Death Row Records and Dr. Dre's thing." And then the funny thing is, like, he even brings his barbecue, and like he starts feeding them. He gives them the itis, and then his white friend starts giving him like a rap saying, "Oh, I gave you the money. I didn't have to ask." And then like his friend answers and raps back to him. So like, yo, that's yeah, sorry. Yeah, so that episode was a mess, and I was all here for it. I loved it. And next episode was Sister District. This one was pretty funny too. It was basically these two girls who were best friends, and they found out that they were actually half sisters because, you know, their dad or whatever. And then like the girl always, like the other sister would always be taking her Tupperware and you know, taking her shirt. So then her sister's like, "When she wears it, I can't wear it." And then they thought they were calling her fat because they're a little bit bigger, but actually it's because the other sister had bigger boobs. She's like, "I can't wear it when she has her boobs in it." And then she was very specific because she's like $176.56 because she's like, "I know how much the Tupperware is," and everything. So it was hilarious. And she even had a Snapchat video. It's like, "Is this your Tupperware? Is this your Tupperware? Real bitch, give a fuck about your Tupperware." So it was really funny. I like that episode too. Um, I 4 or 5 definitely my top episode so far. And the pillowcase, it was cut and dry. A girl caught her man cheating, so she canceled their ticket flight to Houston, and he kept denying that he wasn't cheating. But like, you know, when you know someone's cheating, he's basically that guy. Like because he was like, you know, he blocked her on Facebook so he could only see the post about one girl. He's like, "Did you cheat?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't cheat." He's like, "Nah, I didn't cheat." So you know he cheated. And the second one was Catastrophe. That one was a mess too. This girl fully said that, you know, she got her car towed for 800 something dollars, and then she was supposed to just go over to the girl's house and watch the girl's cat, but she took the cat, and then she pawned 2 of the watches, and it was crazy. Like, oh my goodness. So it was like a felony, and they like fully admitted to it, and she kept going, and I was just like, man, felt sorry for the girl. And then 8, It's Complicated. That one was funny too, because basically, so it's 2 roommates, and then the roommates were like, "Oh, they're always fighting." And then the girl was suing the guy roommate, saying that he drove her car without her permission. I can't remember what she was, if she was out of town or whatever, but it was only just to move it for street cleaning days, but then he used it to go to a friend's house or whatever. So it went from a full tank to an empty tank of gas. And then the plaintiff, the girl, calls in their 2 other roommates for star witnesses, and then those 2 roommates countersue them for their security deposit, which was $1,500, because they like, and it was really funny too, because I like the video that they show is like the guy roommate running through and breaking the door, and I swear on my life, I've probably seen it on Twitter or Instagram before. So like, I guess they got insta famous off that, but it's kind of funny how like, I guess full circle, and then now they're you know, on TV, I guess you could say. And then episode 9, Mood Swings. Oh, I just watched episode 9 and 10 this morning. So 9 basically was these 2 girl couples, and then it was crazy. It was like they got into a fight at Six Flags, and then in the car, like she nibbled on her face, and then she punched her, and they fought each other. And then the girl, like, after that, like, they came outside, and then I guess she was suing them for the camera because they broke, because she chucked it against the wall. And then one girl got arrested, and he wasn't going to arrest the other girl, and they both got arrested. And then the mom for the first girl, the plaintiff, who was suing for the camera, bailed her out of jail, and the other girl was in jail for 3 nights. And then, you know, and then the bail was $10,000, and then she lost her job because of it. It was really, really crazy. But what I liked is, despite like, and they kept swearing at each other, they wouldn't let each other finish. But at the end, they hugged it out and they apologized. And there was closure for them. So that was nice. And episode 10, I just watched it just now. That one's pretty funny too. So it's basically like once again roommates, and then once again a car. So apparently her boyfriend was over, so she let her borrow her car because her car is in the mechanic, and the girl drove her brand new car 1,800 miles, which I don't really know how much that is, because like I'm in Canada, so kilometers, a little bit different. But he drove it from Alabama to Maryland, which I assume is far, and she got like a $40 speeding ticket. And then she sued her for like 542 for like the how much her book value went down and everything. They're arguing, and then Chrissy's like, "You guys are friends. Why don't you ever do like figure this out?" And it was because she drove to a Fish concert. Then the mom thought it was like a fish show, which was like a cat and dog show, which was like even funnier. And then, in the end, they decided apparently like it only went down like $26. And then she said, "I want $100 for oil change because it's supposed to do every 3,000." It was all that. But Chrissy decided to scrap it and saying that she pays her for the speeding ticket and the oil change or whatever, so like 100 something dollars. Then she sends them to a Fish concert, and the mom was gonna go. And at the end of the episode, um, they're like, "Oh, Pepper," which is the mom, decided not to go after listening to their music. Oh, and also with the Daniel case, with them always fighting, like the two gay guys over the Lizzo shirt, she's like, "I'll send them to a Naka," which is like apparently some high. So I'm assuming it's like a Nobu, and they sent pictures. So I like the little after story. So that's basically all I have to say about the shows so far. I'm also gonna watch Punked because Chance the Rapper, and playing pranks. Um, Dismantled. I see the guy from Unbreakable Kitty Schmidt, so I might check that one out. Thanks a million. Maybe that's, I don't know. I think I'll watch a couple. Oh, there's one with Kiki Palmer. I love Kiki Palmer since, one, was it Step by Step or One by One? An old BET show. Yeah, Murder, House Flip, Run This City. You know what? I'm going to check out some of these shows. These shows look like interesting, and then see if it's worth a 90-day free trial, I don't know. I don't think I'll keep it, but check it out after this. So I'm going to take a quick break and then talk to you about some music.
Hey guys, if you guys haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. As a matter of fact, it's how I make this podcast. It's free. It has some great creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so that it's heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need in a podcast in one place. So make sure you go and download the Anchor app. It's free. Or go to Anchor FM to get yourself started. Trust me, guys, it's so super easy.
Okay, so there's been a lot of new music coming out. And when I talk about new music, I'm talking about my Canadian artists. And all I got to say is so far, 2020, Canada has not missed, And so this is the 11th. So yesterday, the 10th, which was Good Friday, Tory Lanez dropped a new album, New Toronto 3. And I listened to a couple of songs, and to me, it sounded like some real old school Tory. By old school Tory, I don't even mean that old school, because I started listening, I first heard Tory Lanez with Diego, Tony Montana. They call me Tony Montana. But but then I really started liking Tory Lanez when so I heard about him from Diego and a couple other like trap house and stuff. And then I was like, but he was on mixtapes, and at that point I don't think I was really listening to mixtapes anymore. But then I Told You came out, and I remember that day I was like, you know what? I don't hate his music. And there was also Say It. There was like he had a couple bangers out then on the radio. I listened to the radio a lot because I didn't have my own car yet. And so I heard, and I was like, damn. Like, I still love the first song, I Told You Another One. on I Told You, and there's To Dream, and then even like his most recent album, not New Toronto 2, the one that came out, BID with Bust It Down, all of them. I got a new phone, so like kind of deleted some of my songs, but like I really enjoyed that album. So New Toronto 3, so far, I gotta listen to it and tell you how it's been. But like honestly, like the weekend after hours, and then there was a deluxe, so I gotta listen to a couple other songs. Really enjoyed it. And you know, there's also Justin Bieber. His album was pretty good. Um, but that's not the artist I'm here to talk to you about. So today, talking about an artist that I've been listening to since he pretty much came out. And it's kind of funny because like I liked him because of what he represented then. And then when he started to change, I don't think I was at the point in my life when I was ready to change. So I kind of fell off. And then I listened to his music again here and there because I can still scratch on YouTube. I'm like, oh, music's still pretty good. But at that point, I want to keep it low key because everyone kind of still roasted him. But now, you know what? I don't even care. The person I'm talking about is Russell, or what he was first known as was Deep Pride. And then from Deep Pride, then, Pride, and now Russell. So basically, he's this artist from Brampton. And I liked him back then because when he came out, he's only like a couple years older than me. So I could say grade 6 or 7. He was this young, so I was like 11 something, 12. He was this 15-year-old kid, very talented, but he didn't curse in his raps. And at that point, I was still kind of innocent, so I didn't even like cursing and rap and stuff. At that point, I was listening to, you know, um, what's the one with Lil Wayne and Kevin Little, the rock song, "I Will Rock You" or whatever. But I didn't even listen to songs without cuss words. Like even like Ashanti, What's Love. I didn't know those ones with the cuss words. It was until like I was a little bit older I listened to it. So I really messed with him because he didn't cuss in his raps, because I thought, wow, here's a talented artist that doesn't need to cuss or use bad words. You get this really clean image. And all my friends were like, man, he's just a Toronto artist. He's whack. Meanwhile, people like Drake, Weekend, Probably Next Door. I don't even like this guy, but Ram Riddles are people that came up. So like, gotta support our people, right? So, anyways, and then I kind of stopped listening to him, and then he started cussing in his raps and started getting all these tattoos, and then I was like, man, I don't know if I mess with his music as much as I used to anymore, because he just started drinking and smoking, all those kinds of things. And I guess I was still at that point, I was like in high school, so I wasn't really drinking or smoking or doing anything really. So I was like, man, I don't like it anymore. Everyone says he's whack, so I'll just agree with him, he's whack. And then 2015, graduated high school, and then he dropped Loverboy and left field and proved me wrong, because I never subscribed to him on YouTube, so I watched the music videos, and honestly, those tracks bump. I've been bumping it. I don't care what anyone says. Those tracks bump. So from there, like I kept his music on my phone, but then I only listened to those songs, right? Because at that point I got Apple Music and stuff, so like it wasn't really letting me put my old music. But you know what? His old music, honestly, for what it was back then, wasn't really that bad. But then he changed his name to Russell, which I didn't know. But then my cousin went to a Ram Riddles concert, and then he opened, and I was like, and then she started listening to him, and then he dropped this song called Head Top, and I heard it because I was like, you know what? Let me check it out. And that song raps, "Here's another heater for your head top. Hoes on sleeping when the bear." I'm not getting it completely right, but yeah. So then, what really made me want to listen to his album was he was on Genius Brain, so David So's podcast. And honestly, it's been the longest podcast that David So has to date. It was 2 hours, and it was kind of this whole in-depth thing. Oh, and one other thing. A couple years back, he lost his mom. And I know like back then, his biggest inspiration was his mom because she believed in him. And that's, I guess, what I also really admired about his music. So then I think that's also why I stopped listening to him, because his mom died. So then I kind of felt like he was going down a cycle. Like I still rooted for him, but then, you know, I I was unsure. But then he dropped his recent album, March 15th, Boy Lonely. And I have to say, I've been bumping that and Loverboy for the past few weeks without a doubt, because especially after like listening to his podcast with David and talking about how, he was this young 15-year-old kid with all these older industry people who didn't really know what they were doing, but here they were telling him he's the shit, and he's like, he wanted to say cool things, like, he messed with Wiz Khalifa and wanted to do cool things, but he couldn't because the industry, or like the people in the industry that were like repping him, was like, nah, you're the shit, you're the best, you're the only coolest rap, you're the best rapper out there. And I could kind of relate to that a lot, because not that, you know I'm a great rapper or anything, but like, I've always been smart, I guess you could say, but I never really acknowledged it. And then I remember one of my friends, my uncle's friend, told me, don't let it get to my head. And I was like, yeah, I won't let it get to my head. But of course, I let it get to my head because, I'm a teenager. So I internalize everything. And if, you need to find yourself, so through identity. So, like, I was like, oh, I'm smart. I'm like, whatever. I get good grades. I'm intelligent. And then I went to U of T. And like, that really humbled me down. Not that the fact that I wasn't smart, but like, I'm not the only smart kid out there, one. And then two, there's a lot of smart people, but it's not just about how smart you are, but what you do with your talents, right? So I really understand him. And then also dealing with loss, because he lost his mom, which is his biggest inspiration. And, I lost people in my life. I kind of understood what he was going through. And this transformation, I really, in this whole album, from the first song, he was like, the first song is like Olay, and it goes really, it's like really arrogant. And then, because I remember he said it was a story, but you have to understand it. And I didn't really get it at first, because I kind of got that he rapped at the beginning of the album, and then towards the rest of the album, he started to sing more, right? And then what he was explaining was basically going through his transformation. So at the beginning of his career, he was kind of this arrogant kid who didn't want to, who had to like be all tough and show who he was so that all these other rappers respected him and everything. But it turns out that he's just a kid, and he needed to find himself, understand what was going on. And then through that, you know, towards the end of the song, like one of his best songs on the album, I would say for sure, is like Sucker, just a sucker for you. Love fun, love fun, love fun. Really, really nice. And then the last, you won't listen to this anyways, which is basically him just kind of pouring his heart out, saying he wants to talk about his mom, but he feels like, people won't even listen or care about it, or they're gonna get annoyed. Like, and I really love the songs that go like the extra mile. Like a really good Drake song that I'm pretty sure everyone has heard but never talks about is Good Ones, The Cameras Go. The good ones go, the good ones go. If you wait too long, I really like introspective songs like that, where, especially because, I'm not a rapper, but, rappers talk about their own personal struggles that, while everyone's looking at them because they have this music, success, money, but like the one thing which everyone just wants is just love, and they can't seem to find that because of the way that their life or career is going. So, I really admire that. So, yeah, so definitely check out Russell. That's all I have for today. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Hopefully, something else to talk about. Um, but so far, yeah, stay inside, keep your quarantine vibes up, and we'll get out of this soon. All right, peace.